Hello and welcome back to Pokemon Emerald, of course. In the last part, we kind of got to Mobile, and it was post-commentating along with this one because I'm dumb, but what else is new? So we got the bike, which allows us to, of course, go on Cycling Road, which is what we're going to be doing right now. And, of course, I have to mention this because it is really still awkward, is watching myself play, because I have to restate this, but I will do certain things, and it might have been because I was talking at the same time, and I just, like right there, I was checking a trainer to see if I had already battled him, and I probably explained that, but in my head I have no idea what I really did. Like, I can infer what I was doing, but whether that's true or not, no freaking clue. So, this is, still, again, awkward. Right now, we're going to complete Cycling Road, and we're going to go back to Slateport and grab some Harbor Mail. I believe I do end up showing off the game corner in this part, which next part I will have collected enough coins to get one specific TM, and then we will slowly be gathering enough coins later to get another TM. The second TM is not very prevalent right now, so it's not that big of a worry, so yeah. But overall, just going through Cycling Road. Not much to talk about. I could ramble on about this guy, which 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 times. Okay. I think I was actually counting in line with what I did. I remember that, so I cannot talk to trainers properly. But when it comes to that guy, he speaks Rydel 45 times, which if you ever do that to someone, you have the right to be shot on sight. That's ridiculous. Imagine, in text format, it's a little ridiculous, 45 times. Now, imagine in speaking formats, if I just said Rydel, 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 Rydel 45 times, that would get really annoying. Like, really fast. But there's just a bunch of trainer battles. Nothing too big. No evolutions. We're not getting any new moves. Just stuff is going on. I believe I'm testing out whether Spark would kill. Yeah, I think it does. It's quiet nature. Or not quiet. Whoops. Wrong one. Modest. It does not. But I actually wanted to talk about something because I'm very bad at talking about complicated stuff while I'm playing. Because don't know. But I'm going to talk about something that's kind of well known, but it takes a minute to get used to, and that's EVs. Now, not the actual Pokemon EV, but effort values, which are a type of hidden stat distribution within the games that you don't really see, because they're not that prevalent. Now, of course, if you were to raise a wild Pokemon, if you were to catch a wild Pokemon at level 100 and then you found another Pokemon at level 50 and raised it to 100, the one you had ended up leveling up and raising would be better. That's what is called effort values. Now, there are, of course, IVs, but we're not going to talk about those because those are even more complicated sometimes. And overall, EVs are easier to see. So in Generation 1 and 2, how you would get EVs is that if you fought a certain Pokemon, their stat total and everything involved would be put into a formula, and then at the end of the day you would get EVs in quotes into certain stats for everyone you beat. For example, oh crap. Basically, if you really wanted to level up really well, you would, of course, get a Mew, because it would give you 100 points in every single stat. But that's because Mew is perfectly balanced that way for a reason. Now, that doesn't mean it was purposeful. To be honest, the Generation 1 and 2 EV formula is very messed up, and it allows you to max out every stat. Basically, the reason Alakazam is so good in Generation 1 OU, for many reasons besides the Psychic type dominance, is the fact it always had enough defense to live certain physical hits or certain amount of HP or certain amount of speed. It didn't matter because it was always maxed out. There was no nature to balance it out. There was no stat limiter to balance it out. Same with Gen 2. Snorlax was always maxed out, meaning it could live across Chop. Where nowadays, because of stat limits, you might not put all 252 stats into HP and defense. You might not do that. But overall, when you get to the base stats and EVs of Generation 1 and 2, I don't have to tell you they're weird, but they just are. And just to be clear, special attack was only one EV for Generation 1 and 2, and it was the special EV. That's one of the big translations over from Gen 1 and 2. That's why you're able to bring over a Pokemon using the Time Machine in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, because the stats had to be very similar. Otherwise, you couldn't translate properly. It's kind of like one of the main reasons that Generation 2 and 3 don't have trade backs. It's because, one, the game's changed a lot. Two, it's on different system entirely, so that's complicated. And three, personality values carry a lot more weight. Just an example is Wurmple, but it's the example of why there are no trade backs. But the reason I'm talking about Generation 1 and 2 EVs is that in Generation 3, it was changed. No longer can you max out every stat. You can't go and get all your EVs maxed out. You are now limited to 255 EVs, which you can't use all of them because it has to be divisible by 4. 4 EVs equals 1 stat point if you want to make it simple. Meaning you can only use 252. And then you can, of course, do the math. Which, for some reason, I totally just... Hold on, let me do it real quick. Holy crap. Whoa. I don't know why, but I'm having a hard time. And I also was having a hard time there. I went to find the hidden trainer, which I did, which is great. But overall, when you get to... there we go. Sorry, I was doing math, and that was a struggle. 63. Thank you. That was weird. What's funny is I had it on my head, and then I had it in my head, not on my head. And then, yeah. But anyway, you are limited to 63 additional, maximum of additional stats, which means you can't exactly maybe tank hits as well, or you can't spread out your offensive as easily. That means physical and special attackers are more segregated. There's not a lot of mixed attackers found in later generations, unlike in earlier ones, mostly because of stat differences and stuff like that. Mostly, for example, Nidoking. Nidoking has always, in Generation 1 and 2, does a little bit of both special attack and just basic attack. And it depends on the move pool, of course, in each generation. But usually by the time you see 3, it sticks to special attack. Or physical attack because it's the higher attack. And then once you get to about sheer force, it starts doing special attack oriented stuff. Now, of course, I'm going to get back to this. But we just picked up the coin case. And, I mean, nothing's really special about this. We're going to go immediately into the game corner and we're going to check this stuff out. Now, there are 2 type of attractions here. We have, of course, the prizes, which there are the TMs. There are 2 TMs we will be picking up pretty shortly. One of them will be in the next part even, so look at that. Why am I on the screen? Great job, me. And then I check out the dolls, which I believe I show off where you can get a free one. Yeah, I go immediately to it. So, this lady will give you, based on what starter you pick, you'll get a doll. So, do not get a Mudkip doll from the game corner if you picked Mudkip. Same with Trico and Torchic, depending on what you picked. So, I get some coins I'm going to show off. Probably the slot. Yep, the slots first. Slots, basic slots. You can do a variety of different things. The rewards are on the right. overall, it's not my favorite slot machine. You can get replays and stuff like that. To be honest, the one in Pokemon Platinum is a lot more fun, I guess. It's better, and overall, I don't like the slot machine. It's kind of boring. I do like the roulette, no idea why. Ever since I've played Pokemon Emerald, I sometimes just go in here and play it. So I'm trying to show off that you get different rewards for picking different stuff. So in the case of picking 4 items at the same time, you only get times 3 coins. So you'll see right here, we will get a solid 3 coins. Not very special. So if we pick 1, we get 12. So it depends on how you want to do it. The roulette is very easy to win in small increments. You don't win a lot necessarily. It takes a long time to really build up a win streak. And sometimes you just get cheated, of course, because this is supposed to be a casino. But this is better for smaller amounts, and it's pretty secure, but the slot machine overall is going to be better for you if you want to win large amounts due to the chances of red 7s, of course, popping up. Overall, it's not too hard to win at this game corner. I didn't show it off in Pokemon Crystal that much, but the game corners in there were very similar, I want to say, except they were more brutal. You were very commonly going to lose. And I keep apparently hitting something. But as I'm just saying here, playing roulette, I wanted to show the whole round. I believe I do get to show it off here, but if you do get your ball stuck in between, well, or on top of 2 balls, or 2 roulette balls, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what these are properly called, actually. But you'll get this little animation. Sometimes it is a Shroomish. Sometimes it's a Tailo. The Tailo will pick it up and drag it. The Shroomish will bump it out. Stuff like that will happen to make sure you don't get, well, cheated out of it. And overall, pretty easy stuff. You'll see me back in here next part getting, I'm going to tell you right now, the Thunderbolt TM for Curlia, because that's priority numero uno. So, yeah, what else did I do? I seem to have... Oh yeah, I was showing off. There's a lot of stuff to do west, north, and east of Mobile. Plenty of stuff overall. What was I doing here? Was I deciding whether a double battle was a good idea? Okay, whatever. One thing back to the Eevee discussion and quote, where I fumbled around, of course, because it's actually one of those things I find really hard to explain as very clearly as possible. It's kind of one of those things that just, it's hard to explain. Of course, Eevees in the subject entirely is very easy to understand, but the intricacies of it are a little harder than, of course, first grade math. And I'm not very good at explaining stuff like that, where it comes to me easier, and so I kind of don't struggle with it, and so it's kind of hard to relate to someone who does struggle saying the subject or learning about it. Yeah. But we will actually be getting an item that involves Eevees very soon. That's actually why I want to bring it up. The Matra Brace is actually very close to our current location, which the Matra Brace doesn't sound impressive, but what it does is it doubles the effort values you receive if your Pokemon's holding it. That means if I were to receive, for example, 2 attack Eevees from a fight, it now becomes 4. Now, this doesn't sound that great, but in conjunction with Pokerus, which doubles your overall Eevees on that Pokemon, you now get quadruple, which is very cool. So, we might see in next part, probably the part after if it comes to it, but next time we'll be collecting Thunderbolt, and moving on and hopefully get into our next gym very soon. So, if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, whatever you prefer, of course, and I will hope to see you guys next time, and of course, till then.